The grand hall of the Capitol was filled with reporters, flashing cameras, and hushed whispers. The tension in the air was thick, and at the center of it all stood Karoline Leavitt, her face calm yet determined. Across from her, Senator Richard Callaway leaned back in his chair with a smug grin, confident that today would be the end of her rising political career. For weeks, rumors had been circulating, accusations that Karoline Leavitt had engaged in unethical dealings, allegations planted in the media with just enough fabricated evidence to spark an investigation. Callaway had orchestrated the entire thing, believing that if he couldn't defeat her fairly, he would destroy her reputation instead. Today, at this public hearing, he was ready to deliver the final blow. "Ms. Leavitt," Callaway said, his voice smooth but dripping with arrogance. "The evidence before us suggests that you misused campaign funds and engaged in backdoor dealings with corporate donors. Do you deny these claims?" The crowd murmured. Reporters leaned in. The moment was set, he expected her to stammer, to crumble under pressure. But Karoline Leavitt simply tilted her head and smiled. "Senator Callaway," she said, her voice steady, "before I answer, I have one simple question: who exactly provided this so-called evidence?" The room went silent. Callaway hesitated, just for a second. And that was all Karoline needed. Callaway's confidence wavered, but he quickly recovered. "That's irrelevant," he said, waving a dismissive hand. "The evidence speaks for itself." Karoline folded her arms. "Does it?" "Because I did some investigating of my own." She reached into her bag and pulled out a thick stack of documents. "And what I found was very interesting." The crowd watched as she placed the papers on the table. "You see, Senator, the so-called whistleblower who leaked this evidence has a direct financial connection to you. In fact, bank records show a large transfer from your campaign fund to his account just days before these accusations surfaced." Gasps echoed across the hall. Reporters frantically took notes. Callaway's face paled, and he tried to interrupt, but Karoline wasn't done. "Oh, and it gets better," she continued. "Because when I looked deeper, I found that this isn't the first time you've used false accusations to take down political opponents. In fact, 3 other officials who challenged you in the past were suddenly hit with scandals, each one later proven to be baseless." Callaway's smug grin had vanished. His hands gripped the desk in front of him. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. He had walked into his own trap, and Karoline Leavitt had just sprung it. The entire room was watching Callaway, waiting for his response. His jaw tightened. "This is ridiculous," he scoffed, forcing a laugh. "Are we really going to take Ms. Leavitt's word for it? She's just trying to divert attention from her own wrongdoings." Karoline raised an eyebrow. "Wrongdoings? That's interesting coming from someone whose financial records just happen to show a pattern of bribery and blackmail." She turned to the committee overseeing the hearing. "I took the liberty of forwarding these documents to an independent forensic team. They confirmed that the timestamps, signatures, and transactions are all real. Would you like to dispute that, Senator?" Callaway's face turned red. He shuffled the papers in front of him, searching for something, anything, to fight back. But there was nothing. He had spent weeks preparing to take Karoline down, but in less than 5 minutes, she had flipped the entire situation on him. A member of the committee, who had previously looked skeptical of Karoline, suddenly leaned forward. "Senator Callaway, these are serious allegations against you. I think we need to take a closer look at your campaign finances." Callaway's hands clenched into fists, his carefully crafted plan crumbling before his eyes. Karoline Leavitt had not only survived his attack, she had turned him into the accused. A reporter in the back called out, "Senator Callaway, do you deny paying off witnesses?" Another voice followed, "Will you resign if the allegations against you are proven true?" Callaway shot up from his seat. "This is a farce," he snapped, his voice shaking with anger. "I refuse to stand here and be accused by someone who refuses to back down." Karoline interrupted, her voice unwavering. She stood, meeting his glare head-on. That's right,
to my
Senator.
channel.
I don't back down. Not when corruption threatens the truth. Not when good people are silenced by those who abuse power. A slow clap started in the back of the room. At first, it was just one person. Then another. And another. The crowd, which had entered expecting to see Karoline crushed under accusations, now saw the truth. Calloway had underestimated her, and now he was the one exposed. The chairman of the committee cleared his throat. Given the overwhelming evidence that has come to light today, I believe further investigation into Senator Calloway's dealings is necessary. Effective immediately, we will be launching a formal inquiry. Calloway's face twisted in rage. You can't do this, he shouted. But no one was listening. The cameras were focused on Karoline Leavitt, who stood tall, unfazed by his tantrum. As the meeting ended, reporters swarmed around Karoline. Ms. Leavitt, how did you uncover the truth? One asked. She smiled. By refusing to accept lies. By digging for the facts, no matter how hard they tried to bury them. Another reporter stepped forward. What's your next move? Karoline Leavitt turned to the cameras, her expression fierce. To keep fighting. Because corruption doesn't stop, and neither will I. Senator Calloway stormed out of the room, his career now hanging by a thread. The very trap he had set for Karoline Leavitt had become his downfall. And as she walked out, head held high, the world knew one thing: this was just the beginning. Where are you watching from? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.